Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for the Forex price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're gonna see the Euro, the GBP and the GPY price action and possibilities and what we might expect for the next week. We're gonna start with the Euro on the all-time history here, where we have our three waves toward the upside, finished wave A or W, in three waves ABC, and continuation in a complex structure toward the downside in W, X, and a Y, where we see, of course, a zigzag for the W, running flat for the X, and a zigzag for the wave Y. Now, basically, after this, we start to see an impulse toward the upside, where we saw a very deep bottom here below the $1 for the Euro, and we start to see an impulse as a potential wave 1 or a wave A, followed by a correction, three waves, wave B or wave 2, and of course, a massive move impulsively toward the upside. If we dive inside this move on the 4 hours chart, we can see that this impulse, of course, is made of double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5, which it has finished a potential wave 1 or a wave A again. And that means, of course, three waves toward the upside can be already finished. And what I mean with the three waves is a zigzag finished over there. And you're looking here for potential three waves towards downside again and push towards the upside in a potential wave Y, as we saw, of course, on the daily. Back to the 4 hours chart here, in this correction after it, we saw a three waves structure, and that is a confirmation that we are still corrective. The trend is toward the upside. We're gonna, of course, go into a correction, which it is a little bit very sideways here. But I believe what's going on here is three ways down, three ways up for a wave B, and you're looking potentially here for an ending diagonal probably, or W, X, and a Y, meaning a W, X, and a Y. Your wave Y might be the three ways down, wave B given, and you're looking for an ending diagonal here in a wave C, meaning taking the low only, and then of course might continue the push toward the upside after hitting again the 0.23 one more time and pushing for higher prices. Another possibility is, of course, an extended wave 1, meaning the wave 1 is not yet finished. And that means, of course, your wave 5 is a potential diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. And that means you would like to see, of course, this price here in the blue box, of course, the most common target between the 0.618 and 0.786. Yeah, hit again. And that means, of course, if we see the high again as a confirmation for higher, and this is a key level, guys, that we have to, of course, always follow. This is the answer, of course, if we are moving to this blue box, $1.16 for the euro. If we surpass this price here, I would say a little bit higher, 1.165. And of course, if we break it and decisively here, our target is, of course, to take the high again and probably to dive into the $1.19 here for the euro. So very interesting price to watch, of course. Now, in case that we don't take this price, it is definitely that you might still be looking here at a potential ending diagonal 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5 toward the downside can be, of course, below the 0.23, below the 1.14, and then, of course, looking for higher again. So these are the possibilities for the euros. I see a correction. Definitely the price is going to move toward the upside, whether from there or, of course, from another low for the euro. So basically to be watched, of course, as this price. And in case that we rebound there, of course, we can expect a wave 2 and then continuation towards the upside. In case we get the low here, you might expect, of course, a massive move again, taking the high again and even higher than this, proceeding to the next, of course, level, which is our blue box in a wave 3 here, which it might be the $1.3 for the euro. That was it for the euro. Let's move to the GBP. So for the GBP, also starting on the all-time history, where we are looking at the following price, where we saw, of course, a potential and a leading diagonal, can be, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, also can be a WX and a Y at the same time. However, we found a bottom, of course, around the $1 here for the GBP, and we start to move for higher impulsively as a wave 1 or a wave A there, and we saw, of course, a correction as a wave 2 or a wave B, and we continue impulsively toward the upside. Meaning, whether you found a new psychology here, you move for higher, or you are in an A, B, C expanding flat, the wave C might be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for higher prices. If we dive deeper inside it here, we are looking as well at this push toward the upside here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Finished wave 1. A correction 3 ways. Very clear correction has been given as a wave A, wave B, and the wave C is still unfolding toward the downside to be watched. Of course, the blue zone here as an impulse, because this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 is not finished yet. And of course, knowing that you might have here 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. You didn't took yet, of course, the invalidation, which is very, very close, by the way. Invalidation of a bearish, which it might be here the 1.32, meaning if we take this invalidation, which is very, very close, by the way, it might be that we might finish in the WX and a Y. The wave Y is finished already in 3 waves, guys. Okay, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, 3 waves down, again finish WX and a Y before taking the 0.38, meaning of course, yes, you can move for higher in a potential another ABC there, and it can be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 continuation for a new high for the GBP. If we dive a little bit even in the micro level here, you can see of course that you have an A, B, and a C. At least the wave C, of course, here is a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. Can be finished, and we can of course drop down for a wave 5 in case we are still impulsive here. You might see a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5 still to reach this blue zone, and then moving toward the upside. So key level to be watched as an answer, of course, is the 1.32. If taken, we continue for higher. If the price stays below it, we simply take the blue box. Yep, so that was it for the GBP USD JPY here on the all-time history as well. We are looking also at this massive move for the USD against the GPY. Of course, the GPY is struggling so much still, and we have a wave 1 or a wave A finished, wave B or a wave 2, and then 1, 2, 3, and then wave 4 still ranging here, potentially to unfold a wave 5 toward the upside. If we dive inside it here, we can see that the triangle is still in a formation there as an A, B, C, D, E. The 158.9 is not taken as invalidation yet. Once we take this price, that means, of course, we continue toward the upside as a 1, 2, 1, 2, wave 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And that means that you have finished here. A potential correction can be even from there, because this can be considered probably as a wave 1, A, B, and a C expanding flat, failing to take the low. And you continue in wave 3, 4, and a 5 over there to reach, of course, our blue box, which is, of course, a wave C or a wave 3 around the $181, $195. If we dive also inside this wave on the 4 hours chart as a wave C or as a wave D, sorry, here, that it can be for this triangle, you would like to see, of course, an A, B, and a C. Now, this wave C is a little bit complex here, and I don't see it as a perfect impulse. Everything is overlapping anyway, which is not signaling a good impulse toward the upside. Very likely that we drop down again here for wave E before, of course, we move toward the upside. However, the key level to be watched, of course, is always given 158 or $159, I would say, for the GPY there. Okay, so very interesting. If we stay, of course, below this price, that means we are in a wave E and push later on higher. But if we break it from there, okay, yes, the things are evolving here into, of course, a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 toward the upside. And this was your only correction there as a deep correction. And we might see, of course, this price action unfolding there. I'm going to put it in an orange brackets. There you go. So these are the possibilities for the Forex, Euro, GBP, and JPY. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.